Hey, this is Alexi Lawless. There is nobody in U.S. soccer that is more important than the Cooligans.
Yeah, baby!
Yes! Hello! Welcome!
Yeah!
What is good, Dímelo?
That's right, baby!
What's up, man? This is another. It's been what about 2 weeks since we did our special Gully Squad second episode of the week for.
That's right. Gully Squad demands 2 episodes a week, so we're giving you 2 episodes a week.
That's right. All right. It's been we've had the last 2 weeks because we've had like just absolute bangers the last couple podcasts, right? You know, we had Jermaine.
It's like we're like the Jonathan Lewis of the podcast game. You give us a chance and we come in and we do work.
Okay, that's right. All right. Put us in early, coach. That's all we want. But
that's right. We should start for your podcast regime. Don't bring us in as a super sub after you listen to Total Soccer Show and them. Bring us in up front.
That's right. We should be at the top of the order, okay?
That's right. Top of the 18, my guy.
Bat and lead off. No, we've been the last couple of weeks. I mean, it's just been bangers, like I was saying. I mean, Jermaine Jones. Then we had Aaron West. And those episodes required the breathing room. You know, you couldn't have a second episode that week because it would have enveloped the other. They would have been battling against each other, which is
if we would have had a second episode, the Jermaine Jones week, it would have simply been a reaction from the crowd of the Jermaine Jones interview. And I heard from some people, somebody reached out and said, I thought it would be more saucy. What more do you want?
You want
My man is talking about a restraining order.
I mean, you want him to like do our podcast and then immediately be put in handcuffs? Like, I mean, let's slow it down.
Are we doing it from central booking? Is that where you want us to do the podcast from?
Okay,
name me another podcast. I dare you. I dare you to find another podcast that has the balls to not only ask those questions, do it in a respectful and entertaining way, and to have that player or any player respond back in kind. And I guarantee you ain't find shit.
Well said. So welcome to the show, everybody. If this happens to be your first time listening, my name is Christian Polanco.
My name is Alexis Guerreros.
Together, we are your favorite stand-up comedians out in New York City that host the funniest soccer podcast that you've ever listened to, by far.
By far, far and away. And it's not just that, Christian. But it's also the gulliest.
You know what? I heard that, too. I heard about that we are the gulliest.
You heard about that?
You know, the streets is talking about how we are the gulliest soccer podcast.
They almost put that in the State of the Union, but they were like, nah, man, we don't want to blow it up too much.
Exactly. But speaking...
And you know what? If Trump would have said we're the gulliest, nobody in the crowd would have said no mames.
Exactly.
Did you see that?
I did see that.
Did you see the congresswoman from Texas? She leaned over to the person next to her and said no mames right into the camera. That is my spirit animal. Thank you.
The strength and the power of the eye rolls in that crowd was palpable.
Yo, I mean, her, like most of the new Congress people had to just massage the sides of their eyes because the eye rolling was intensive. I know on my end, I was eye rolling heavy.
They were giving themselves migraines. Rolling their eyes so damn hard. But I wanted to say, speaking of Jermaine Jones, well, an interesting thing happened after we had Jermaine Jones on the podcast. One of them was that he ended up. Remember, he was private on Instagram. Right, and we were always talking about how no one could see all this, the messy Instagram stories that he would be doing and all that stuff, and we would be the conduit for people to get all those stories. But after he did our show, he went public. Did you know that?
He went public. Yeah, I know.
So I genuinely believe we had some influence in him being. I feel the last couple weeks he's been a different Jermaine Jones. He's been a little bit more, more front facing and more direct to his fans. Like he's been like a gentler Jermaine Jones. Like even just the other day, he did an Instagram live, and he did this thing where he's now talking to fans through Instagram Live. So he'll just, do a one-on-one, and he'll do an IG Live with like a big fan of his, and they'll just ask him questions and stuff like that. And he's just like trying to be a more helpful and more connected Jermaine Jones, So
I think this is the Cooligans effect. We're seeing it in action,
without a doubt. I mean, let's not be crazy, because it must have been a day or two after we put out the podcast that he went public. He's turned over a new leaf. That's all. Okay.
I think he saw from our interview. He was like, "Yo, the streets need this. This ain't just for me and my couple thousand fans that got in before the lock.
No,
the whole world needs this." So you're welcome, America.
Very much so. Yeah. Send us our thank you cards. We're still waiting for Dax McCarty's as well, but
yo, he's never gonna send it. I know he's personally said thank you to us twice, and now his wife has said thank you to us. But we got nothing to put on the wall.
Okay, I mean, look, I've been saving a spot for like 2 years on the refrigerator. I don't know what's going on. So,
I still can't believe we saw him and his family in Atlanta. And remember how much his father was laughing? These are the guys, like everyone knows the story.
These are these idiots. All right,
these are the fools. Yeah,
putting our family name to shame. Okay, now I know. It all makes sense. Like always, thank you again to Gully Squad for making these episodes happen. And if you guys, we had mentioned before, we're going to be planning some more exclusive content for the Gully Squad fans, because now this community is now sort of developing, and it's becoming a really cool thing that I genuinely love. It's like a group of like-minded individuals that are like figuring out how to communicate about soccer in a way that's different than the comment thread at MLSsoccer.com or just on Twitter. Like it's dope. So we're gonna start doing some stuff to give you guys to give you guys some more exclusive content, because without a doubt you guys have earned it. So if you guys want to join,
not just that, they deserve it. You know what I mean?
So if you want to join, go to soccercooligans.com/Gully Squad and become a member and get in on that super secret Facebook group that may or may not exist. So we're going to be giving. One of the main things that I'm working on right now is to give you guys some clips of the live shows that we've done. So like maybe some from the World Cup Comedy Tour. Some we just were at ISC, and we have a bunch of fun footage from that. So we're going to be giving
and keep in mind that when we were on stage, we said that it would never leave that room, but we recorded because we wanted to put some clips out. And that's who it's going to. It's going to Gully Squad. Yeah. So it's not going to go. It's not going to go on YouTube. It's not going to go on our Instagram. It's not going to go on anything. It's going to strictly go to Gully Squad. So if you didn't get a chance to be in those rooms for, whether it was ISC, maybe you're an ISC member, but you couldn't go and you want to check out what that show was like, or maybe you couldn't get to a World Cup Comedy Tour. If you're a member of Gully Squad, it's going to be like you were in the room.
Exactly. And then we have some really fun moments, especially the one in Atlanta with Alexi Lalix and Max Brados, and a bunch of fun.
Oh, what a night.
Fun moments that we're glad to show you guys. And if a lot of time people can't, some people are not going to fly all the way from like Seattle to go to Atlanta to go see us live, but the hope is that we'll get to your city soon, I promise. And but if you can't be there, if you join the Gully Squad, you can sort of see what those moments are like. And the live shows have been super, super fun, and a thing that has like sort of just excited us, not just about soccer, but about like comedy again. You know what I mean? Like it's a new way to do what we enjoy doing, and we get to talk about the things that that these particular fans in front of us, these soccer fans, enjoy, and there's really nothing like it. It's really, really fun. So again, we're going to be giving that to the Gully Squad members. So make sure to join. So we have today we have a fun episode because we're going to be playing another interview from Chicago at the United Soccer Coaches Convention, and this is a special one with a couple people on it. Basically, we have Edgewater Castle, which is a team that filled with some refugees and immigrants, and it has and they play in a lower league, and it's just a dope, and it's a really cool experience and a cool project that they're working on, and we got to talk to them about that whole thing. It was a really fun interview as well. So a lot to look forward to on this episode. But let's start with a couple things going on in Major League Soccer. So we throughout the week, in the last 2 weeks, we haven't really had a chance to talk about some of the signings that have been made in Major League Soccer.
Well, there's so many. This entire offseason has been absolutely insane. Yeah,
this is the last couple of years. I mean, easily the last I want to say 5-6 years in MLS. The off seasons are becoming less and less boring, right? There's the league, and just since we started the podcast, the league has become a real place that's like competing in the world market for good players, and not the absolute the Suarez's and all these people. Those are not. That's not what MLS is in sort of competing for. But real, just quality players that have an interest in furthering their careers. I think that's been the biggest surprise. Where going to MLS is not even. It's definitely shedding the retirement league thing, but it's becoming a little bit like, oh, I'm gonna go to MLS and raise my stock a little bit, and then I'm going to move on, which that wasn't really the case for a long time. And now the off seasons, because of that, are way more exciting.
And the other thing is, I mean, think back to the first few off seasons that you and I experienced as MLS fans. We kind of missed that sort of the preseason a bit before NYCFC's first season, right? So what was that? That was 2015.
Yeah.
So we kind of missed that, but like all the ones after that, they weren't big splashes. Like we would get some really big names, like some of the older guys, and then all of a sudden you get your Almirons, your Medinas, and these are players that we're not like sure of. You know what I mean? We would have to do like research on, or watch those stupid YouTube clips of bad techno music, all that kind of stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean that's that's my favorite music. That's all I listen to.
That's it. I only listen to shitty techno 1.5 minutes at a time.
Okay.
And sometimes you're watching these YouTube clips, and they're not even that many highlights. It's like a guy passing a ball, and then it doesn't even go in the net. You're like, what's happening? Why is this a highlight? Is this player any good? And then you realize, like, all right, this is a kid in Bulgaria doing this. Like, leave him alone. But you're never sure. And now we're starting to see those players get sold, or at least be sought after. And we're starting to see, like the Lucho Acostas, maybe this PSG thing was a one-off, but just the fact that he's being sought after, we didn't know who he was when he came in. A lot of people thought he was a bust until Rooney got here. And then now you're starting to see these players be sort of like lusted over, like American players, and players that were brought into the American League are now important players somewhat on the world market. We have now entered MLS into the world market.
Yeah. And
it's exciting times.
It is exciting, and we'll get to a story that where about Andrew Gutman that's a bit of an issue. There was a great article from Partenariat that we'll talk about in a little bit. But let's just talk about some of the big signings, at least that piqued our interest. We have to start with NYCFC. Alexandru Mitrița. He's Romanian, and he was signed. The transfer fee was $8 million. So, and this is, I believe, the third highest transfer.
Wait, I read 9.1.
Maybe okay. Yeah, that I thought it was 8. It could be. I haven't gotten the exact number. A lot of money.
Yeah, no, it's
Apparently-
9.1. It's the fourth or third, the third or fourth highest transfer ever.
Yes,
in MLS history.
and a couple weeks ago we were talking about our concern with NYCFC, and we thought they were going to have a rough old time in this season because who was going to replace David Villa? And it looks like they're listening to the show, and they're like, you know what, we got to calm these hooligans down because they're hitting the panic button.
You think at the front office they were like, oh my God, the hooligans are right.
We've been asleep at the wheel.
Jesus Christ, it's been in front of us this whole time.
I listened to the show, and I was all of a sudden, I'm like, you know what? I think we should get to work. But no,
get me some spreadsheets.
Make it, it's like one of those things where they're, when your boss walks by your cubicle and you have to bring up the window of like a bunch of spreadsheets and stuff that you were doing. It's like, yeah, I've been working this whole time.
Yeah.
Don't worry. I wasn't just playing.
Just working on the Q&D report, boss.
We're all good.
It's like I remember I used to, when I was a very little kid, I had one of the first computer games I ever had. We bought at like a yard sale. It was Michael Jordan versus Larry Bird. It was a one-on-one basketball game.
Yeah, I remember that.
And I if you hit F10, it would switch to stocks. Like it would be like it looks like it was a screen of like stocks. So this was for people at corporate offices. Like if someone was walking in, they hit the button like just looking at the futures on orange juice. Boss.
Yep. But yeah, it's so watching. I spent some time watching some Mitrica. So apparently he likes to go by Mitri, right? So I was watching the NYCFC interviews with him, and so Mitri. When I was watching his highlight, I was actually quite impressed because he's Romanian, but his highlight music was reggaeton. So this is a step up. This is a step in the right direction, right? I'm very happy.
Which already I'm willing to say now, based on that information, this is the greatest DP signing in the history of MLS,
without a doubt. Okay, look, his portfolio is already strong. Okay, because
yeah, I mean,
you put
cut and print. My man's got a little Bad Bunny on there.
I think it was, if I'm not mistaken, I would have to play. I think it might have been like J Balvin or Ozuna or something like that. So that's all right. You know what, little Romanian man, I'm listening because this is.
I'm sold.
This is a good sign. So if you don't, so Mitrica, I forgot the club that he's coming from. It's a Romanian club, but he was definitely someone.
Karovia.
Okay, so he was getting looks at. I think he was trying to go to like Serie A or something like that, and then. When you see him play, he's very small. I think he's like 5'4", 5'5". He might be slightly taller than Maxi Morales. I don't know. One thing I know for sure, there may not be one header goal from a forward this season.
Hey, don't say it, or Moxie's going to be shaving a number 10 into the side of your head.
So he's very small, but when they were asking him what not necessarily what's his favorite player, but what player he likes to like, what reminds himself of him, and he was like Sebastian Giovinco, and when you watch him play, he's almost not as small as Giovinco, but you can definitely see that type of player. He is, and I've noticed this. I've talked about this on the show before. Whenever I'm playing soccer and I'm playing against shorter people that are just good, it's really bad. It's really annoying because you can't get a body on them. You can't really get they have that low center of gravity. You can't really move them anywhere. And I think that's the kind of trouble he's going to be causing.
Well, what I like about him is that he's a scorer. You know what I mean? And that's just, it's something that translates to every market. You know what I mean? Like if you score goals, people recognize that. My big fear is, so I have two things, right? One, no one in the world rated him at $9.1 million. So my fear there is, the fuck are y'all doing
They know something.
Is this
They
a
know
financial
something we
fair
don't.
play thing? Well, that's the other thing, right? This is Manchester City. So this is the benefit of having a world sort of scouting system, similar to like the Red Bulls have with Red Bull. The NYCFC has that with Manchester City, right? So we get the benefit of all that scouting knowledge, right? But to some degree, it's like if you're Manchester City, you can make a $9.1 million mistake and it not be a big deal. If you're in MLS, you can't really do that.
Yeah. It's not, fun money just to throw around.
No.
I mean, definitely City Football Group has they can take bigger risks even within MLS. But that's not necessarily the smartest thing to do. But I mean, watching them play and there's something comforting, at least to me. I think for NYCFC fans, I think there's something comforting in him saying, I've watched MLS, I know the league, and Giovinco's my favorite player there. So that
I like how he said, like, yo, he talked like first of all, he looks and also talks like an extra on a Taken movie. Like
Sure.
he dead ass. He looks like he stole Liam Neeson's daughter. He goes,
well, Liam Neeson,
he goes, I'm not here.
Well, he'll end up, thinking of attacking a black man for it because
he's just gonna go find a black guy, so don't worry about it.
Freaking maniac.
Jesus Christ! I know Liam Neeson's like, by the way, I'm not racist. Like, you heard what you said though, right?
Yeah.
You see why we came to that conclusion, though, right, Liam? Whatchamacallit? He said, in his interview, he said,
I have
I'm
a
not
unique
here for
set
the
of
city.
skills. Racism.
No, not Liam. Mitri said in his meeting, he goes like, look, I'm not here for the city. I'm here to score goals and win. I'm here for MLS. I'm here for the league. I'm here for New York City Football Club. I don't care. I'm not here because of the city, which I get is like, the point of like how people look at MLS. It's like, oh, you're here just to have a good time and relax because, blah, blah, blah. Nobody knows who you are. But he's like making it clear that that's not it. He's here to win. But also it sounds like, I don't care about your famous city.
Oh, tall buildings. I do not care.
Yeah. Oh, very nice skyline. That is not why I'm here. I am here to win.
Yeah.
I do not care the points at the top of your building. I care about the 3 points.
He just sounds like a straight up mercenary. He's just like, I'm hired to kill. He'll kill the goalpost. I do not smile in photographs because I am not paid to smile in photographs. But it looks like a fairly good move. I mean, I think the I guess with the type of player, like and with Giovinco leaving, and there's just because you're a short guy doesn't mean you're going to be good at soccer. But watching some of the highlights, and clearly it's very packaged to show the best moment. But the dude looks like he has an eye for goal, and I'm interested to see how he's going to fit with I guess because we're only used to seeing David Villa up top and what that sort of means, right? And he was what was Villa's strength was just like just good on the ball, can definitely create, not the fastest guy, but he can create some space, being kind of deceptive. But it looks like that's not really going to be the case with Mitri. It looks like he's just going to be just like a little ant running around.
We got two of them, because we got Moxie over there too. But if you follow at NYCFC Tactics, they posted this before, and I guess this came off of a conversation they had on a podcast, but they posted what they think the lineup is, or the formation's going to look like, and it's Mitri and Medina in the midfield. You've got whatchamacallit, right? Is it Medina and Mitri and Medina in the midfield, and it's going to be Moxie starting up front.
Okay.
And I guess he's going to play a false nine, and you're going to have I forgot who the wingers are. All I know is Moxie's up front, and I can't stop staring at that. How the hell's that possible?
I mean, he's done it before. He did for a couple games.
Well, I think it's functional when you switch in and out, when you confuse the defender. But when he's starting as your center forward and he's 5'3",
yeah,
I mean, look, Sean Johnson doesn't play it long, right? NYCFC doesn't play it. They don't kick the ball far. They play from the back, so it doesn't matter. And if he's a false nine, I think that works. But when I think of a center forward, I think of the build of like a Giroud. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, I mean, this might be a terrible mistake. As far my concern, if that's the case, then it would be about defensively. Like, there's going to be a lot of set piece goals that they're probably going to give up. There's going to be, if Mitri doesn't seem like the best defender we got going, but so it'll be an interesting year. Again, we went from they're probably not going to make the playoffs to they might look okay. The only concern is, especially in the Eastern Conference, is that Atlanta United looks like they are better than last year, which is kind of crazy, but it does look so. So the other signing that we didn't get to talk about for NYCFC was Keaton Parks, who is a men's national team. He's gotten, I think, 1 or 2 caps, if I'm not mistaken. But he was what team was he playing? Benfica. Yeah, right. Benfica. That's right. He was in the.
He's Benfica, but he never cracked. Well, I mean, he rarely cracked the first team.
Exactly. So him.
But hold on a second. I mean, we talked about him on the show a few years back. He's one of those guys that FC Dallas just missed. Okay. This is Frisco. The kid's from Frisco. He's from Frisco, Texas.
He's from Plano, which is obviously next door.
Sorry, Plano. There's too many towns over there. He's from the Dallas area, right? FC Dallas missed out on this kid, turned him down for an academy spot, and then here comes Benfica. He's basically a Goodman. You know what I mean? Like, here's Chicago not really rating the kid, and Celtic comes in and is like, yo, we'll take him. Like,
yeah,
Keaton Parks was one of the first ones where I was like, wait, what? Benfica? And Benfica, I mean, you forget who Benfica has like developed. Angel Di Maria, Renato Sanchez, just like this name of like big name, this list of big name players
I never heard those
over the
guys.
last few years.
Who are those guys?
No, Di Maria, never heard of him. Oh, you mean he could have played with the great Lucha Acosta? So Benfica, it's no joke when it comes to youth development. Benfica knows what they're doing. They may not be Ajax level to some people, but Benfica has developed some incredible players, and that's their only way of making money. They're in the Portuguese league. So if they thought Keaton Parks was good enough to even be in the reserve, like, yo, my guy, I kind of co-signed the guy.
Yeah. So he is being loaned to NYCFC, and I think he's been upfront about wanting to get back into his parent club, and that he wants to.
But he has to say that. He can't hold it against him. He has to say that.
So, but there is a possibility of. I think they're like, if the season goes well, he might stay with NYCFC longer. Or, but it's an interesting.
It's a 1-year loan.
It's an interesting move. Just in general, he's a good player, and again, it's like another one of those. We'll see where he fits or whatever. But
I think if he plays well, I think he sees the future in MLS as sort of being a bit of a bigger springboard.
Yeah.
It may be a slightly lower quality than a Benfica, right? Overall. But if Benfica you'd have to be one of the best in Benfica in order for the rest of Europe to look at you. Being one of the best in MLS might be a little bit easier, and it would immediately lead to Europe taking a look at you. And the way Manchester City and City Football Group do things, if you play well and you look like you can be sold, City Football Group will, quote unquote, buy you from NYCFC so that they can make the money selling you.
Yeah, well, and
as opposed to giving MLS a cut, essentially.
Yeah, and it's tougher. It's tougher to be seen, really, if you're not playing on the first team somewhere in the world, right? If you're in the reserves, that you just have that, like, you're tainted in a way where, like, oh, he couldn't make it to the first, like, regardless of how good you are in the reserves, like, being in the first team in MLS is better than being in the reserves in Benfica, right? Like, that's not, as far as like adding to your value, right? That's a fair statement.
Oh, absolutely.
To make.
It's actual games. You're in the battles, and that's the important thing. It's like Gideon Zalalem, who's being looked at to come. You remember Gideon Zalalem? He was the kid from Washington D.C. area, gets bought by Arsenal as like a 16-year-old. Looked amazing in those preseason. A couple injuries, a little bit of a bad attitude from what I heard. And he's been sort of loaned out to like these like Scandinavian teams and stuff. There's a chance he goes to Sporting Kansas City, which I hope for, because I thought this kid was Christian Pulisic before Christian Pulisic. Yeah. And he's another one of these like midfield marvels if he gets a chance. And it's getting first team minutes is important. It doesn't matter necessarily where it is, but I do think MLS is better than some random Scandinavian team that no one's ever heard of that they're probably not looking at to scout from.
Yeah, this is just in general. I feel like the whole tone of everything we're talking about all these players that are interested in MLS or or have already signed. There's this growing feeling that the standard in MLS is like growing right before our eyes, where we're like, oh,
yeah, absolutely.
Where we're like, this league is actually good. I mean, regardless of how you feel about the Pro Rel or the rules and all that other stuff.
Yeah, the logistics of it may not be your favorite.
Yeah, but the quality of play is starting to surpass a lot of other countries. Where like, if you want to you might become a better player playing here over playing somewhere in Scandinavia, playing in Romania. Like, I don't know how good the Romanian league is per se. But
we could take a stab at it and just say it's probably not great.
Yeah. Well, do they stab in the Romanian league? I think they might stab. Well,
let's just say I use that word on purpose.
So this is a good reason to be excited about the quality of soccer that you will see in America. So that in itself is reason enough to be a little bit happy. So
just look at Terrence Boyd, who was starting for the men's national team not that long ago, and my man is now going to TFC for $200,000 a year. He's not even a TAM player.
Yeah.
Dog, from the men's national team to not even a TAM player. And that's not, I don't think that, I think the guy's got quality. I think he's got a lot of talent. I'm not saying that, sort of in spite of his talent. I'm saying that's how good the league is getting, where a player like Terrence Boyd 3 years ago comes in as a DP.
Yeah, people are getting kind of left behind, which is good and bad, right? You have to, like, if you're not good enough, it is what it is. So a couple
You're Dunzo.
A couple. Who's Dunzo? Did they sign him? Okay, so
yeah, he's a reserve at Cracovia.
So a couple other ones. So we were talking a lot about Peter Martinez. Obviously coming from River Plate and South American Footballer of the Year, whole thing. Big signing, and then on top of that, the dude seems serious as hell. Doesn't smile. He's the Mitri of Argentina, but he seems very serious about it. But now we actually got to kind of see him play, see him at training, see him. The Atlanta United just played a friendly against Cholos of Liga MX, coached by our papi himself, Oscar Perea, who's been on the show. Please listen to that episode if you haven't.
Papa, eres tú?
So he, but PT already genuinely looks amazing. We already saw him. We already saw him at Libertadores and playing for River and all that stuff. But as far as fitting into MLS and Almiron, we also didn't talk about that. Almiron signing for Newcastle. Weirdly enough, I think without Miguel Almiron and with Pity Martinez, the team looks almost better. They appear more confident than ever before, and have to be the early favorites for MLS Cup in 2019.
Well, here's the other thing: the East has gotten a little weaker, so just give them the top spot. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And also, a lot of it, what is it? Is it the confidence of having won MLS Cup and not having that chip on your shoulder, right? Which can be a negative sometimes. Is it De Boer? Is it the Bauer system? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Is that an advancement over Tata Martino's system? Maybe it is. We're about to find out. Is it just that Cholos was, in bad form? Maybe. There's a lot going on there, but Pity Martinez plays very differently than Almiron. But now that the Almiron saga is resolved, now that team can sort of start to build out without him. Now it's like, okay, we know he's not here. Let's do what we have to do. And you and I have talked about this in the past. Sometimes when someone who is so focal on your team leaves, it almost makes it better because then everyone around you picks up the slack.
Sure. And yeah, you sort of expect a lot of that. I think I don't know how different Atlanta United is going to look. But as far as the intensity, I feel like Frank de Boer is a more intense guy than Tata Martino. And you can take that however you want. I don't know what I'm not even sure what I mean as far as what in particular, but he just seemed the Tata gave off a little bit of a more chill vibe. Even though I know that Atlanta United had one of the strictest training schedules, and remember Bobby Boswell was talking about how they would train. They would break union rules because they were training too much and things like that. But De Boer seems like it might be even more than that. You know what I mean?
Right. And he's been at the top. I mean, this is a guy he was coaching Ajax when they went through a pretty incredible run. He's not going to take any shit. And I don't think he comes across as much a father figure as Tata did.
Yeah, he's
Tata had that cool uncle vibe.
Yeah,
De Boer does not.
Frank de Boer seems like the guy, the dad who doesn't blink. He's not gonna let these kids mess around at all. I see everything.
He's like a Bob Bradley.
Sure. Yeah.
He doesn't laugh at your joke. He just looks at you and goes, I see what you did there.
Well done, sir. Okay, now get back out there. So Atlanta United. Making these big signings like that, getting their DP there and selling off Almiron. But really, I think one of the biggest moves, and this is again when moves like this happen, and some are tactical decisions, right? For the betterment of the club, but the betterment of that squad. But Atlanta United just signed Florentin Pogba, the older brother of Paul Pogba of Manchester United. If you never,
this is just for bands.
Never heard of that guy. But if you don't know Florentin Pogba, and I don't know if you don't follow Paul Pogba on social media or whatever, but he's very close with his brothers. There's three of them total. He's very close, and they're probably one of the most fun trios that you'll see in soccer, right? They're
all very similar. They all dance together. They all have a good time together. What you think of Paul Pogba's personality, just realize all three of them have the exact same personality.
Exactly. But think of Paul Pogba's talent, and they do not have this. The other brothers do not have that. So just keep that in mind.
No, they don't. They have talent.
They're very talented, but I'm not taking anything away from them. But there's definitely
every member of
less than the World Cup winner Paul Pogba, right?
Every member of NSYNC could sing, but they weren't all Justin Timberlake.
Correct. Who can't dance, according to Alexis Guerreros.
No, he can, just not as good as me. That's what I'm saying.
Okay, so the reason I'm excited about this is because off season in the Premier League and just in Europe in general, because both of the other brothers play soccer as well. But this is as far as how to sell the league, MLS is gonna be, we're getting you turn on that notification bell for Florentin Pogba and all the Pogba brothers. But as soon as they set foot in Atlanta, imagine the Pogba brothers in Atlanta. What is that going to look like? What are they gonna do first?
They're going to remake the Bad and Bougie video. That's first.
Okay, see, all right. This is exciting. This is how you sell soccer, okay?
Already, I'm excited.
Is what's the first step? I mean, I think the Atlanta United fans should really make a real connection with Florentin Pogba, because they need to let him know what food spots to go to first. They need to know what is the Magic City Mondays? Is that where we go? Like, I mean, they need to give them an agenda, because the Pogba brothers are going to be listening to Florentin and really put Atlanta more on a map, because Pogba going to your city, Paul Pogba going to Atlanta and doing Atlanta things is a big move. All right, and so
it's almost like Paul Pogba sent a scout to Atlanta to go. He sent his brother to go find me some cool shit to do in Atlanta. For my off season.
Go get a job out there. Look at some properties, okay? Because I'm thinking of maybe building a summer home out in Atlanta. So this is gonna be dope. And Florentin Pogba is already a character, and so he's. So I'm actually interested to see where he's gonna play, or what the. He's a center back, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, he's a center back.
So it's going to be a little bit tough to break in. LGP and Parkhurst kind of have that on lock. How much? This might be for the future, right? Because this might be Michael Parkhurst last year. So maybe this is like a more
also just for depth. They have CCL.
Yeah, that's true. So
it's a good depth move, and I think this move was inspired when all the rumors of LGP being sold to was it Club America? I forgot who was looking after LGP. Who was looking at LGP?
I think it was Boca. I think it was going to go
Boca. That's right. You're right, Boca. So I think it was just a reaction to that, and I think it was the Paraguay national team's coach Juan Carlos Osorio is not a huge fan of his team, of his players playing in MLS. So I think a lot of them were trying to make moves out of that to get better standing in the Paraguay national team. So you got LGP, who was trying to make those maneuvers, I thought, but I guess it didn't materialize. And once you start a conversation with a Pogba, you start to see all the marketing possibilities. It's worth bringing him in. And if that's competition for LGP and for Michael Parkhurst, that's better for the team.
Yeah. So
it's certainly, I can't wait for the Breck Shea, Florentin Pogba web series.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be entertaining this season without a doubt. So a couple other things before we get to our interview. Real quick, this was worth talking about. So LA Galaxy, they have a new stadium. The naming rights have changed. It used to be StubHub Center, and now it's going to be Dignity Health Sports Park, I think, something like that. So Dignity Health is the new sponsor for the stadium, and so it came out today that there was a new. They sent out like a packet, I guess, for the season ticket holders, and they let them know that they could of like all the new things that were going to be happening with the stadium. So one of them was that there is a plan to build a David Beckham statue in outside the stadium. What do you think of that?
My first thought is it better be shirtless.
Sure, and if you can etch the tattoos on his body as well, that would be.
Oh, the tattoos should all be raised slightly.
Okay. Yeah. It's like Braille almost. You can really feel them.
Oh my god! And it shouldn't be on a pedestal. It should be just like standing in the street, like a human size, exactly. So that anybody, man, woman, or child, could just go up and feel the tattoos and maybe the abs. Get the experience that a Posh Spice would get on a daily basis.
Sure, that's kind of nice. Be
like, or allegedly waitresses at local restaurants in New York. Allegedly.
Nobody knows anything about that. So I think we don't have many statues of MLS players, right? So this is maybe a good. He is important to American soccer and growth of the league. Kind of a cool thing. Hopefully, it doesn't look like the Ronaldo bust or whatever. Hopefully, they do a good job with it. But it looks like this is a real possibility. So can't. Well,
I know one person who won't be happy about it. Landon Donovan.
That is very funny too. But he played for the San Jose Earthquakes. also, like, he's not statue worthy because of with LA Galaxy, because he has those blemishes on his career. Anyway,
I don't know. A lot of people would say he's more of an LA Galaxy legend than David Beckham. David Beckham was more of a mercenary. I mean, you can't rate the whole San Jose Earthquake thing because David Beckham, it's not like he didn't play with another team called Manchester United.
Okay. I mean, who was the player who played for like Sol Campbell? Like, Sol Campbell, could he have a statue outside of outside the Emirates? No, because he played for.
He played for Tottenham as well.
Tottenham. So,
yeah, I mean, I would say do it, but then it's just going to get wrecked by Tottenham fans.
Yeah, it would be a nightmare. So,
you know what they should do is build that statue equidistant from the new White Hart Lane and Emirates.
Yeah. So, other thing. So we don't have time to talk about. Next episode. We'll get to. Do you say Gutman or Gutman? Andrew Gutman.
I say Gutman.
I think Gutman feels better. Feels a little stronger. Anyway, but so we'll get to that in the next episode, because we have there was a article from Paul Tenori that was absolutely fascinating, that really shed light on how MLS works and how players move and homegrown rights, and it's all.
Yeah, there's a lot to talk about.
Yeah,
there.
we need a lot more time to talk about it. So we'll get to our interview with Edgewater Castle. So this is again a team. They play in the Chicago area, and they like we said, a team of refugees, immigrants, and it really has a very open-ended and diverse kind of view on what soccer should look like, and it's great. So the owner and
it's
operator.
Also the power of soccer.
Yeah,
in a small community, for people that are coming in here, even if they're finding it a little bit easier to assimilate than everyone else, there's still hurdles, and something like soccer, which is the world's language. Like Aaron said on Wednesday's episode, like he knows he has something in common with anyone in the world because he can talk about soccer. Doing that in America is such a powerful force for some of these people that just have that one last step to sort of finding a way to feel more comfortable in the U.S. and finding a way to sort of give themselves a little bit of that passion they had back at home and make things a bit more normal for them.
Exactly. And the dude who runs the team, great dude, Andrew Swanson, who we met on the World Cup comedy tour when we were out there, and great dude, really supportive of the Cooligans. He's always been a fan, and it was great to talk to him and see what he was doing, and it helps us like realize and shed more light on. There's a lot of people doing really good things within soccer and for their communities, and again, another reminder that this stuff is more than just dudes or women kicking the ball around. It's like this, the game in itself can have such a huge impact on the community, and this is what Edgewater Castle is trying to do. So here it is. Let's get right to it. Here's our interview with Edgewater Castle.
Hey, everybody, thank you so much for listening to this episode. Right before we get to our interview with Edgewater Castle, we just want to tell you about this dope event we're going to be at and hosting.
That's right. We're going to be hosting the Adidas Gold Cup cocktail auction fundraiser. So this is for a group called Project Goal, which is a nonprofit, and it is a group in Rhode Island that is we've done stuff similar to this, and we've been meeting a lot of organizations like this. It's really cool. So they basically tutor kids, and there's a soccer program as well. So they get to play soccer for free. They get free tutoring. So and the standard is basically do well in school. There's accountability, and you also get coaching, and you get to get better at soccer. So this is a really dope thing that we're happy to be a part of. It's a real honor, and this is open to the public. So anybody can go if you are in.
Which is nuts, because a lot of times these are private events that we host. This is open to everybody.
Exactly.
And the money you give, if you buy a ticket, that's going to go towards kids getting to play soccer for free. If you're a Revs fan, if you're a Providence City fan, this is your community we're talking about.
Exactly. So this is an opportunity to hang out with a couple. Maybe there might be just parents of some of the kids there, and there might be some billionaires, that want to donate, and who also want to maybe win some exciting items at an auction. So this is a really cool thing. So we've done stuff like this before. before, and genuinely, it's very different having two comedians do this. All right, it's a lot of fun. We can like roast some people. Remember we did the other one with Luis Robles, and we were roasting everybody and having a good time. So this is a really cool event that if you want to attend, you can go get tickets at projectgoal.org, and it's also on our Facebook page. We'll be putting out a bunch of links as well. So make sure. So this is happening March 29th at 5:30 p.m. It's going to be a dope event. It's open to the public, and if you want to help the community and you want to help some underserved kids play soccer and do better in school, this is your opportunity. So this is you can see a fun show, and you'll be helping the community and doing a good thing for American soccer.
Yeah, just think about how different Christian and I and my life would have turned out if we had something like this.
Yeah, if we would have had any
That's
help
all you have to think
whatsoever,
about.
That would have been nice.
If someone would have asked us to do well in school just once, think about how different. Christian alone would not be having to talk to me twice a week. So just think of the positive things that can happen in the community when people get together and try to help out underprivileged kids, especially with something as good as education and soccer. I can't think of anything better. We're really happy to MC this event. Go to our website, go to projectgoal.org, find the information, buy a ticket, donate as much as you can, come out and let us roast the crap out of you while we're dressed nicely. Yeah, baby, we're back!
Oh my God! All right, so the convention has been wild, has been incredibly intense, and
there's just so many people walking by that know who we are. We know who they are.
Yeah, that's right.
So
Martino was just sitting here.
Yeah, now Martino was just sitting here, but now we've got some real people.
Exactly.
Up here, not these fake Hollywood people.
Just a warm up.
Yeah.
So look, right now we are sitting with Edgewater Castle, and if you don't know,
you've seen us wear the hats on the show. If you watch our YouTube,
and if you haven't, if you don't know what we're talking about a team in Chicago, an amateur team that is not only just any other soccer team. It is a team comprised of several refugees.
Right.
So when we first heard this, and we met,
or it's immigrants.
Yeah, it's a combo club.
Yeah.
Not everyone on the team that is from another country describe themselves as a refugee.
Okay.
The guys on the team were born in Chicago.
Right.
Some people did come from some from Poland.
Yeah.
Some more crisis situations. But
sure.
we basically try to be a team that is accessible to everybody, regardless of sort of origin or financial situation.
So, and
that's the voice of Andrew, by the way.
Exactly. And so Andrew, let's start with you. So explain what Edgewater Castle is and your involvement with the team.
Okay, so Edgewater Castle is a not-for-profit, amateur into semi-professional soccer club that is designed to provide all communities of North Chicago with a high-quality, highly organized, and uniquely accessible soccer club experience. I don't know if any of this is getting through, but
all is.
Great. But yeah, so basically we exist to provide the communities of North Chicago that don't have as readily accessible avenues into the semi-professional soccer world. We try to be a platform that is more accessible to those communities.
What is North Chicago for those of us who don't live in Chicago?
Yeah.
What is that like, and why was that important for you to be in the neighborhood? Like, what signifies North Chicago?
Absolutely. Well,
that's White Sox territory.
It's not. It's actually
Cubs.
Cubs
territory.
Yeah, we're in Cubs territory. So we're about as far north in the city as you can get before you leave the city. We're like Winterfell up there.
Yeah.
So
don't say that, because now I thought Winterfell's a neighborhood here. I didn't remember Game of Thrones just now.
Castle.
Yeah. They got a wall of ice up there.
Chicago's currently as cold as Winterfell.
Yeah, that's a good point.
It's a decent analogy. But basically, we're a community that's very far north in the city, right on the lake, right off the Red Line. So it's very accessible to other parts of town. But something that's really important about how this team was able to start succeeding there is the fact that it's just an incredibly diverse area. I think there's like 78 languages spoken in like a 4-mile radius or something like that. And
it's the Queens of Chicago.
Yeah, actually, kind of.
Right.
Furthest north, furthest east.
Well, Bronx is the furthest north, but it's the most diverse.
Yes.
They've got, I think, something like 180 languages spoken just in that. Yeah, it's wild.
Right.
Yeah.
So basically, we started Edgewater Castle out of the fact that the level of talent in the area is just so high, mostly based on the fact that there are a ton of immigrant refugee services or service organizations in Edgewater that have been around for a very long time to help bring communities from other countries in and acclimate and sort of become part of American culture.
And but why did you do this? Because starting soccer teams is crazy, right? You just dump it all. You're losing money. It's
but think about how dope it is to explain this on a Tinder date. You know what I mean?
Right.
Oh, you work in an office? Well, let me tell you what I do. That's all of a sudden.
Interesting.
Yeah, look at the hero over here.
What made you want to make that kind of sacrifice?
Well, yeah, I mean, it is difficult. A lot of teams these days start by just, someone with money being like, I got some, let's do it.
Yeah.
I do not have any. So it was.
Don't say that on the Tinder date. Just in case.
Right?
Yeah, hide that part right there.
So basically, I got really interested in soccer kind of for the first time a couple of years ago. I'm a carpenter. I make furniture to make money.
Yeah.
And I had an injury in my shop, and I was sort of bedridden for a winter. And over the course of that time, I just started watching games and got more into it. And that spring, I was delusional, and I was like, I'm gonna play, and I'm gonna go learn how to play on all these pickup games. And I'd go see people play, and I'd be like, A, no, I'm not.
Yeah.
Man, all these immigrants are crushing me.
You could have gone the other way. We need to get these immigrants out of here, so I'm better at soccer. But I'm glad you went this way.
No, build a bigger table.
Yeah, I like that.
So,
that's a good way to go.
But legit, I went to see players and got to know some of the guys that were playing in the pickup games by the lake, and the level of talent was just so high. And I'd start to ask people questions about where they play, what teams they play for. The majority of the best players I'd see said, I don't play on a team. There isn't a team for me to play on. I'm not in college, I'm not in high school.
Yeah.
So basically I started to investigate how do you start a soccer team? What are the different avenues you can go down? And through my research, I just sort of smushed all my favorite ideas into one kind of business model, which is that we're a not-for-profit organization that behaves with the intention to grow into a legitimate semi-professional club. So the fact that we don't charge anybody to participate has just helped bring in the talent. Like Gabe here, people who just are in the neighborhood and showing up to play and doing really well. So
let's
talk to Gabe.
Some of the players. So we have two of me. Let's start with Gabe. Gabe, how did you end up at Edgewater, and what position do you play? What's your role?
I originally play center back, but
okay.
My coach here, he's not really.
Play me forward.
Yeah.
Take to center.
This is the thing about every defender. They swear they're the ones who score the goals.
Yeah, right.
Every center back is a forward is a frustrated forward. I swear on that.
So, okay, where are you originally from?
Oh, I'm originally from Tanzania. It's on the East Africa.
Okay.
Yeah, so...
how'd you end up in Chicago?
Oh, I moved here because my dad been here for approximately 20 years now. So
okay.
Yeah, I applied for visa, then I ended up here with my family.
That's amazing.
And let me ask, weather-wise, just like Tanzania, correct?
The weather?
No, you didn't have to buy a jacket. I'm sure you had one already. When you got here, what was your first winter like? Were you like, why did people stay here?
Yeah, the first time I got here, because I came alone from Tanzania all the way here, so my dad used to tell me it's cold because I came in mid-November. It was on,
Yeah.
So when I got here, I got out of O'Hare, I got out the exit, I was like, probably I'm not here. This is not what I expected. Yeah, because I didn't have no shoes on, I didn't have no jacket.
Am I in the wrong country?
Yeah, that's
just like those Jamaicans from the movie about the boss.
Yeah, something like that.
You got off the train, you're off the plane, you're like, did we land in northern Canada by mistake? Yeah. Oh, did this say Chicago or Antarctica? I think I'm in the wrong.
That was my first impression. I probably I'm lost. So I went back in, then I find out I was on the right place. So. Yeah, but my dad knew I was gonna mess up for some reason, so he had couple jackets with him for like.
Did you ask him like, Dad, Miami wasn't on the list here? We couldn't get to Houston?
No, I didn't ask her that question. I just knew I have to deal with this for a while.
So, Gabe, what does this team mean to you? I know you getting here, and I know you must have played tons of football, right? When back in Tanzania, the fact that you have this opportunity just to play on an organized team when it's not too easy in America just to find a place to play soccer. What does it mean to you?
I was coach. The other coach, James, who is not here, he's the one who called me. It's like, we have a club going on, so you want to come play? I was like, oh, yeah. Because I usually just play, like, pickup games. I don't really, like, play for a team. On summer 2016, I think, I made my own team and joined a league, but it was just, like, a regular league, which, like, would not end nowhere, like, as Edgewater is, so... I was pretty impressed, so I got there, and I was like, yeah. I mean, when I got there at the middle of, not at the beginning, it was like...
Yeah, early summer, I think.
Yeah, it was like early summer,
2018? Summer 2018?
Yeah, something like that, but yeah, I got there before we even started playing, like, we even got an end season or, like, any league, so...
Yeah. Did you play a lot in Tanzania?
I actually play a lot. I don't remember when I started playing soccer, so I just know I play a lot.
Yeah.
I just been playing soccer like so.
So it's important. I mean, this is one of the things that I think is important about what's happening with Edgewater is assimilating to a country, and we're both first-generation Americans.
Yeah.
So my mother came from Cuba. His family came from Dominican Republic.
Mm-hmm.
You know, when you have friends around you that are from the same country, it's a little bit easier, but you still have to go out into America. Like, you have to leave that little pocket of friendship to go to work and stuff. And I just remember my mom explaining how difficult it was for her to assimilate a little bit. And those little bits of things that remind her of home just help a little bit sort of settle you. And for Cubans, it's like a little Cuban coffee shop or friends and family that'll come over and make the same food you're used to. Was soccer that for you?
Pretty much. Yeah, pretty much. Because when I got on the team, I was like, man, this organization, I'm pretty impressed. So
were you like, man,
like,
some of these people suck.
More friends of mine.
This is really helping me out here. I'm looking good.
You don't look it that way, because that's the whole point of the team. Like, you bring like different talent together to make one. Yeah, so that's how it is. So
that's dope.
I brought like 6-7 friends of mine. Now we play in the same team, and I'm still bringing friends. So
that's beautiful. It's great. It's great.
I'm just bringing people, but that's up to coach who is going to pick for the game. And
Well, here's what you need to do. You need to find a taller, slower, stronger friend to play center back so you can be forward. If you want to be forward.
That's
Well, let's talk. Wojtek Piotrowski. You're one of the coaches, or you're the head coach?
I'm the head coach.
You're the head coach.
Yes.
I mean, how does it feel to have like this like United Nations team?
It's unbelievable.
Yeah.
It's very good because you have players from that grew up playing the game differently. So you can do stuff a little bit differently, but it's also a big challenge because everyone understands the game different.
Yeah.
And we have to play together. Let's say I'm a forward, I gotta know what Gabriel is going to do.
Right.
And also vice versa. He needs to know what I'm gonna do. But if we grow up playing the game different, I playing the game different. So it's up to me, unfortunately. But I really enjoyed the challenge, getting the guys playing together, you know?
Yeah, I mean,
it's been great.
What was your experience? You said you were from Poland.
Yes.
Okay, so what's your story? How did you get here? How did you end up becoming a coach? Do you play regularly? Has that been a huge part of your life? Like, or is coaching that passion that's what you want to end up doing, like full time as a career somewhere?
All right. Back in Poland, I did a lot of different sports.
Okay.
I played soccer. I'm from a winter capital of Poland, which is called Zakopane, which we do only winter sports, a lot of winter sports. Ski jumping, cross-country, biathlon, all of this stuff. So I did a little bit of everything. When I came to the States, I really got into... I also played soccer back in Poland, but when I came here, at 16 years old, I really got into running.
Okay.
Cross-country, track. And that's what I did throughout my high school, okay? I also kept doing soccer, just pick up games here and there. But then I got injured.
Oh, wow.
So I couldn't really compete at running. So that's where I started playing a lot of pickup games, adult soccer here in Chicago area, but I messed up my knee. So I was done. And a friend of mine said that there's a coaching. His dad has a club and he needs a coach. I'm like, I gotta go and give it a shot.
Yeah.
And I started coaching, and I've been doing it for 8 years, and it's the best thing that I've ever done.
Oh, that's amazing.
So I'm here at the convention, learn, observe, learn. There's so many different good coaches, so I'm trying to learn. And I got to the point when I was like, all right, coaching kids is unbelievable, but if you want to go, you gotta start coaching other guys.
Yeah.
And that's when I sent an email to Andrew. Then he invited me to one of the practices, and then rest is history. I've been coaching, and I'm really enjoying working with the guys.
So that's great, and that's a great story, especially being an immigrant, being in this country, and then coaching in itself is so much about communication. I know when my mother, she doesn't have a strong grasp of English, right? So I'm not suggesting that you do not. You have a great grasp of English.
But it could be better.
No, that you have a great grasp of English.
But what was that like for you, going in with that confidence of like, I'm going to speak to other men in a language that is not my first language,
and isn't their first language,
isn't their language, but I'm going to communicate the game in a way like that's the language. We all have to speak football. We all have to speak soccer, right? So how was that? Were you self-conscious at all about communicating your message the way you wanted to?
Still self-conscious.
Okay.
Let me tell you a story. When I came here today, I could count up to 12 in English.
Not bad.
And I knew 3 words.
It's more than him. Trust me.
When does 12 get there? Is that after 4 or?
I go into McDonald's my second day in the States. Okay, I go into McDonald's and I'm like, I watch people how they order the food, and then all right, I got this. I come up to a lady, I'm like, number 1, please. It's like, okay, and she asked me a question, what would you like to drink? And I'm looking at it.
Oh boy.
I don't understand.
Yeah.
I did not anticipate this.
Yeah. You were like,
and then she's like, Coke, Sprite. Oh, okay, now I get it. So it was bad, but...
And you also learn the word diarrhea the next day, right? It's McDonald's. Right out of here.
Maybe not the word, but certainly the meaning.
But
the weight of it, for sure.
That experience made me like, I gotta learn the language as soon as possible. So throughout high school, I was like, learn. So I got involved with, when I joined the cross-country team, I was the only Polacco in there.
Yeah.
And it was all Spanish guys. So that's how I learned the language, but I'm still self-conscious of my language. It isn't where I wanted it to be.
No, but you
I feel like personally, though, you have a great soccer coach voice. Your accent to me really helps me trust you.
Yeah. You sound like you should be telling me where to stand on the field of playing soccer.
Thank you.
Yeah,
so when it comes to coaching, what are the coaches coaching style that you would kind of connect yourself to, and what are there any coaches that?
Yeah, are you more of a Mourinho? Or are you more of a Jurgen Klopp?
When I started, I was Mourinho. Get into shape.
Yeah.
And together is the shape. But the longer I'm involved in the game, I become more of Guardiola.
Okay.
So now I'm trying to transform, my coaching style. And even Gabriel, he knows that. At first we were like, defend. Let's get in shape. Let's start with that. But now we slowly go to the race. Let's press the higher. Let's win the ball.
Gabriel, you better be good with both feet, Gabe.
Yeah.
I think his coaching style is depending on how we develop as a team.
Okay. They're gonna say if we're winning or losing.
Nah.
He becomes Mourinho real fast.
Losing is never an option.
There you go.
Never an option.
That's a good coach if you're saying that, right?
Yeah.
There you go.
So his coaching style is depending on how we develop. So it's because as of right now we have defending shape and attacking shape. So we use both of them depending on the team too. So
and what's happening in the game.
What's happening in the game too, and what's the score. So that's what pretty much
Which I think is something that Wojtek said, which I think is really important. So many people think that this coaching convention is just the meetings of the millionaires, and they let you just have a little booth so you're busy while they're over there deciding the future of U.S. soccer. But most people don't realize there's folks that are coming here and they're learning some really important things or sort of refining some of the tactics they already know. Is there anything in particular, Wojtek, that you thought you came here and that you could take away?
Of course. My ears and my eyes are so open. Yesterday I went to the Hall of Fame panel.
Yeah.
When I saw Jerry, the Godfather, Coach Jerry, the Godfather from University of Indiana, I was like, and all the other the panelists that were there, I was just sitting there like this.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, because they know so much.
And absorb as much as you possibly can. You know, session. There's coaches from Manchester United here, Liverpool, Chicago Fire. So I'm crazy. I cannot wait.
Three giant clubs.
Yeah.
Comparable in every way.
Yeah. Everyone knows them as equals. Yeah.
Honestly, it's an incredible story. I mean, I love when we met Andrew last summer during the World Cup Comedy Tour. But this once we sort of heard it's nice to be in front of you guys and hear those strong accents.
Yeah. But also, see how it's being put in practice, as opposed to just this sort of idea of a team for people that are new in this country. When you see it and you see how it helps, you're like, oh, all right, we did a good thing.
Yeah, it's a lot, and it's a lot of hard work. I know it's very I
know it's hard for us just to talk about it. I can't imagine
just listening to us must be terrible.
No, but it is inspiring. You know, we haven't been doing this soccer podcast super long, but when we meet people that are involved in the game the way you are, and we know the sacrifices that you have to make. You guys are not millionaires, doing this thing.
Not yet.
We're getting there.
We're getting there. Game says you're getting there. We all are.
How do people go see you guys play? What's the best way to find you guys?
So if you live in Chicago or the northwest suburbs, even better, we play in the Europa Indoor League at Soccer City in Palatine through March every Sunday. So you can come see us there. We also have every game live streamed on our Facebook page as of last week. So if you tune into our Facebook page at Edgewater Castle for all our social media, you'll be able to find ways to watch us play. And another thing I want to say is that we're a community ownership governed club. So basically, one of the main ways that we're able to sustain ourselves is through our community ownership group, which is basically people that have committed to be sort of in a small way administratively involved with the club and know what the goings on are and contribute a small amount financially to be in that group and have voting power and stuff like that. So our website has more information on that, which is edgewatercastlefc.com. And then in the summer months, we're sort of figuring out what our home stadium is going to be at the moment, like as of today. But
you and NYCFC, buddy.
Yeah, I know. we should talk. We should spitball about what it's like to look for a stadium
share program. Somewhere in between.
Are you guys interested in park district facilities?
They'll be like, we'll take any idea at this point. Is it a baseball stadium?
Yeah, right. But yeah, so we're going to be playing in the outdoor league in the spring and summer, and those games will all be live streamed too.
Do you also have tryouts for any new players and things like that, or how do you find talent?
Well, it's a little bit of a mixed bag. I'll let Wojtek speak to that a little bit because I bring in, when I find a player I really am excited about with my minimal knowledge, I get, I occasionally bring them into practice and coach is like, who is this? What are they doing in my practice?
Why are you here?
But no, we have sort of a rolling situation where we have a really big, strong first team now, but we're, willing to bring new people in to see how they fit. And we have a reserve team that is being built up too. So if people want to come and get in touch with us, they can email me at edgewatercastlefc@gmail.com. And we're always interested in talking to people that are at very least interested in the game and at best want to contribute to help us do what we're doing.
And hey, we're in a city where a large number of fans were banned from going to see the professional, the top player.
It's true.
Why not pick up the Edgewater scarf? Huh?
We do not have a section to close.
There you go.
That's right, baby.
I'm sure you would love Sector
yeah.
Latino for a team of immigrants. Come on, my guys.
That'd be nice.
Oh, yeah. Right down in Edgewater, okay?
Yeah.
Andrew, Gabe, Wojtek, thank you so much for joining us on the show, man.
Yeah,
this is a blast, and go Edgewater.
Yeah. Go Rooks. Go
Rooks.
Come on, you Rooks.
Go Rooks.
Cheers, guys.
Thanks, guys.
Yeah, that was a great interview.
How fun was that? Thank you to everyone on there for being on the show. Edgewater Castle, again, make sure you follow them on Instagram, Edgewater Castle. You can see what they're up to. I was talking to Andrew, and I always talk to him about a bunch of stuff just within soccer. He's a great dude, and it's just genuinely cool to see people how even people sometimes are surprised at how unifying the sport is. So and this is a great example of that. So it's great great the fact that we get to do this podcast and meet people like that are discovering how cool the game is as well. So this is like for a lot of American soccer fans or that are just casually into it, to be able to do something like this and it be successful and unifying is just beautiful to see. So shout out to everybody. So it was Coach Wojtek on there and Gabriel Masalu as well. So thank you guys for joining us.
And one of the reasons why we wanted to interview them and we were so happy to have them on is because hopefully this inspires you to find out about a team in your local community. And there's just other ways to help. You don't have to be a fan of the top league in the U.S. to necessarily be making a difference or a change. And I mean, even if you have a friend who's maybe, of immigrant status or a refugee here in the U.S. and you want to let them know if you're in Chicago, hey, there's a team you might want to play for, just something, maybe research some teams in your local community. There's probably something just like this. And if there isn't, hey, that's a good idea. Maybe you should start one.
Yeah, and it very much at least fosters this environment because especially with immigrants and refugees and all the negativity that they have to kind of deal with, these just straight up lies about how dangerous they are and all this other stuff. Like it's nice to see that there's opportunities and options for them that are welcoming and not about separating people and not about adding any negativity to their lives because their lives are hard enough. So this is just a cool thing, and we're happy and proud that we got to talk to them on the show and that they joined us in Chicago at the convention center for the United Soccer Coaches Convention. So it all worked out great. So thank you again.
Yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Yeah, exactly. Thank you guys for listening. Hopefully you enjoyed it, right? And thank you, Gully Squad, once again.
That's right. SoccerCooligans.com/Gully Squad. Get on there.
That's
there's
right.
Going to be some, like I said before, some more exclusive content coming for you guys. So with that said, thank you again for listening. We appreciate you. We love you. Have a good time. I'm going on vacation next week, but I will be calling in. I'm going to be in Colorado snowboarding. Excited. It's my girlfriend's birthday. It's also Valentine's Day. It's also our anniversary. I'm gonna mess up something. I don't know what it's gonna be, but that's three things. There's three huge things that I can't get all right.
Too many things.
Yeah,
it's too many things. You only got two hands. I mean, you can't do it all.
I'm juggling knives over here. It's gonna be crazy.
And I got a really cool opportunity. I'm gonna be performing on Gotham Comedy Live, which is now part of their virtual reality sort of Oculus show. Okay. I'll have more information for it next week on Wednesday's episode. But if you've ever wanted to see me perform stand-up, check that out. It's going to be a lot of fun. Anyone who has an Oculus or VR can watch it all over the world. So I'm going to be offending people everywhere across this country, across this great world. So check that out. That'll be a lot of fun. I'll tell you more about it on Wednesday's show. But for the Cooligans, who are you, Christian?
So my name is Christian Polanco.
And my name is Alexis Guerrero. So together, what are we? The Cooligans!